to Will It Work? I'm Kevin. Today we're looking at the Super Famicom from Nintendo. This was a classic re-release that they did. It's basically emulating the Super NES or Super Famicom of the time. They basically released in the United States the Super Nintendo Classic, and then in Japan they had the Super Famicom Mini. And basically the same hardware inside, same system, but a few different games on each. I think there's something like 9 games that are different between the American version and this one, the Japanese version. They did not make a European version of this system, so it was just the 2. But ultimately, I had pre-recorded this video. I had the intention of also recording some gameplay, but that gameplay video went away. I took a break from creating these videos for a while because I had to do a lot of reconfiguring my house and the office that I was doing all these console things in for almost 2 years. I had to take apart and put everything away because I wanted to paint and replace the carpeting and that sort of thing. So I'm kind of winding this series down. If you're new to this and you're just kind of checking in for the first time, I invite you to kind of maybe subscribe or go back through this particular playlist or find the playlist on my channel and look through all of my game systems. I believe I have the largest video game system collection in the world in terms of unique systems that just play video games, not LCD systems, not LED games, not electronic games, just video game systems that play unique games. So I don't have a lot of variants, not a lot of clones, that kind of thing. Everything is something that plays, something unique, except when you go back to like maybe say the early 70s when they had like Pong systems and that sort of thing, because those all basically played the same thing, which was some variant of Pong. But they also had a lot of different controller configurations and layouts, and I kind of get an enjoyment out of looking back at those old systems and seeing the evolution of how they like started out. And they didn't know anything. They didn't know what joysticks were going to be or what paddle controllers were going to be and where they should put things and wires and no wires and all this sort of stuff. And you can kind of like see this sort of progression of those old systems. And I find that kind of thing interesting, and all of the different ways that they tried to model them and sell them. But then as, you progress into the, 80s and forward, you start just to get into these dedicated game consoles. And I have them all in my collection. There's just a very, very small number that most people don't even know about that I don't have in my collection. And I wanted to just kind of finish it off here in this series. So probably the next 50 videos or so are not going to contain a lot of gameplay. I do have some. So, if you see a longer video, it's probably going to have some gameplay. And I will talk about some of these systems in terms of their nostalgia and how I remember them or don't remember them, as well as their technical specifications or history and those sorts of things that I know off the top of my head. We're not doing a lot of research here. Again, mostly this is just a way for me to show that I have these systems, show that they're functional, and show that how large this collection ultimately is going to be. And I think, it can be fun for somebody to go back through it and see systems they've never seen before, as well as systems that you might have grown up with, that you forgot about, or maybe didn't remember. So, if you get an opportunity, feel free to go through the playlist. But just remember, this isn't like a review. It isn't like a retrospective. It isn't like something where I'm taking these things apart and telling you what's inside of them and all that sort of stuff. There's hundreds of videos out there for consoles that do that sort of thing. Maybe someday in the future, I'll put something professionally together that will also do something like that. But right now, no. This is just basically to catalog and display my current video game console collection, at least in its raw form, previous to them, being cleaned and that sort of thing, which may come down the road later. But a lot of new systems, though, a lot of sealed systems as well. So not everything is played, but there's almost 450 systems in the back catalog. So, hey, thanks for tuning in and checking this out. And, feel free to go through the catalog or subscribe and look for the new ones. I'm going to launch one a day here probably for the next few months. And we'll wrap up and see how many consoles I end up with. Thanks for watching.